Welcome students to the class of English. Today we are going to begin with a new topic, reported speech. So here we get to see on the screen that what is a speech? Now we are going to talk about what actually a speech is. A speech is a spoken expression of ideas. Spoken expression, the way I am speaking with you. It is a kind of spoken expression of what? Of ideas, opinions, etc. Yeah. It is an expression of ideas, opinions, your own viewpoint, etc. That is made by someone who is speaking in front of a group of people. So here, who is the speaker? Now, the first question that I'm going to ask you is, who is the speaker at present? Yes, of course. I am the speaker and I am speaking in front of a group of people, may it be a virtual classroom or a normal classroom or a group of people being seated there. It is a spoken language. Why? Because we are using sounds here, the ability, sounds and words here. The ability to speak or the act of something is what is called speech. Again, a speech is a spoken expression of ideas, opinions, your own viewpoints, which is made by someone who's speaking in front of a group of people. And it is a spoken language. The way we speak it, the way we use the words and the sounds, it is the ability, the capability of speaking or act of speaking. Now coming to our main topic, that is reported speech. Reported speech is a speech which tells you what someone has said, what has been said by someone, but does not use the person's actual words. Here, what does it mean by that? It is optional that it uses the person's actual words or not. Like, we use reported speech to tell what other people have said, to repeat the information that somebody did not hear or did not quite understand. So basically, it is the purpose of why, it is basically telling the purpose why reported speech is being used. When we need to repeat the information that somebody did not hear. Somebody has missed some kind of information and we are repeating it for that person, or somebody did not quite understand. There are certain people who do not understand at once. There are certain situations and circumstances where people do not understand. So for them, we use reported speech and to tell what other people have said, what the other person has said. To tell that also we use reported speech. So the purpose of writing or using reported speech is this. For example, let's come to the examples. For example, we have, I love rock music. I am giving a statement that I love rock music. Now, the reported speech will be that he says he loves rock music. Now, the third person is basically trying to explain to the other person that he says he loves rock music. Another example we have, we are flying to Ibiza. So here people are telling that we are flying to Ibiza. Now, there could be a situation where there are some people who would not understand what they are telling or what they're trying to say, or they could not hear the complete information. So here for them, we are using the indirect speech or the reported verb and explaining to the audience that they have said that they are flying to Ibiza. Okay, coming to the reporting verb, what actually a reporting verb is. So a reporting verb is the tense. It is the tense in which the sentence is spoken. I like chocolates. It is in present tense. I went to Maldives. That is, went is the tense being used here is past tense. So here reporting verb means the tense in which the sentence is spoken. Why is it called reported speech? Now, reported speech, why is it called like that? Reported speech is the report of one speaker or writer on the words spoken, written, or thought by someone else. Again, in examples, as we have seen, that when somebody stated that I love rock music, other person is explaining it to third person, that he says he loves rock music or his interest is in rock music. So here again, we see that reported speech is the report of one speaker or writer on the words spoken, written, or thought that is by someone else. It is also called reported discourse. We need to keep that in mind. It can also come as a 1-mark question. What is an alternative name, or what is an alternative name of reported speech, or what is the other name of reported speech? So the answer will be reported discourse. Reported or indirect speech is usually one second. Reported or indirect speech is usually used to talk about the past, what has been in the past. So we normally change the tense of the word spoken. We use reporting verbs like say, tell, ask, and we may use the word that is a conjunction basically, to introduce the reported words. Inverted commas are not used. So these are basically some of the rules that we are going to study. Proceeding further, proceeding further, we have two types of reported speech. One is direct speech and the other one is indirect speech. Two types of reported speech, two main types. The major and the main types are, one is direct speech, other is indirect speech. This we need to keep in mind. The two major and the main types, the prime importance type of reported speeches, direct speech and indirect speech. Okay, so the other type of reported speech we all have are, we are also going to discuss these. Assertive declarative is the first one. The second one is the imperative. The third one, interrogative. And the fourth one, exclamatory. So the first type of reported speech, the other non-important type of reported speech, you can say, assertive and declarative. Assertion or declaration here, a declarative statement states a fact. It basically states a fact or a statement. For example, we have pizza is the best. Here, the tone that is being used is very confident, right? The speaker is very confident and very assertive, very declarative that pizza is the best according to that person. According to that person, pizza is the best. So the tone used here in the sentence is very confident. And here it is the person is declaring something. The second type of reported speech we have here is imperative. Imperative reported speech or imperative speech expresses a request, advice, or order, where somebody is expressing a request, somebody is advising someone, or ordering someone. For example, we have wash the dinner plates. Now, what is it? Washing the dinner plates when you're giving somebody a command. So this statement is basically expressing a command that wash the dinner plates. Third one is interrogative. Interrogative, by the word itself, we get to know that interrogation is taking place. Interrogation means questioning. So here it is, these statements are used to ask questions. For example, where do you live? So here interrogation is being taken place and we are using the question mark also. Fourth one, we have exclamatory. Exclamatory sentences and exclamatory speech refers to which is exclaimed with joy, sorrow, grief, pain, etc. Like for example, we have hooray, we won. So it is a feeling of joyness and happiness. Here the group that has won the match, be it any match, football, hockey, basketball, any match, they have won. So they are basically happy here. So hooray, the exclamation mark we have here, we won. Here they are basically showing the happiness and the joyness that they have won the match. So let's have a quick revision. The two main types of reported speech we have are direct. One is direct, other is indirect. And the other type of reported speech we have, first one assertive, declarative, second one imperative, third interrogative, and fourth exclamatory. Proceeding further. Okay, so here we have reported speech and its two main types that we have discussed previously, few seconds before. The first one is direct speech, the other one is indirect speech. Talking about direct speech, when we quote the exact words of a speaker, when we are quoting the exact words of a speaker, supposingly, say for example, if I say, I like chocolates, these are the exact words that I have spoken to somebody. So the exact words that are being quoted here will be, I like chocolates, quotation marks. Indirect speech, when we report what a person says, when the second person is reporting what the first person has said. Supposingly, if Ria says what Ria is telling to Manisha what Garima has said, that she likes to have chocolates. This is what indirect speech is. When we report what a person says, when the third person reports to the second person what the first person has said. For example, Mother said, I am unwell today. Why is this a direct speech? Because we are quoting the exact words that are being spoken by the mother. Then indirect speech will be when somebody else is explaining to the other person what mother has said. Mother said that she was unwell that day. Supposingly, uh, a child is explaining to his father that mother said that she was unwell that day. Okay, so there are certain rules that we need to understand when we need to convert direct speech to indirect speech. And also one thing that we need to keep in mind, an imaginary line has to be constructed. Before understanding the rule number 1 and moving towards the rule number 10, we need to keep in mind that we need to have an imaginary line being constructed here. Why? Because we need to understand that the left hand side, the left hand portion of this page is referring to direct speech, and the right hand side portion here refers to the indirect speech. With this imaginary line and imaginary construction, it will be very easy for us to understand the rules. Okay. So the first rule here we have is, if the reporting verb or the main verb is in past tense. In the first slide, we saw what a reporting verb is, the tense basically. The reporting verb, we saw that in that picture, in that photo, that it is the tense. So here the reporting verb that we are talking about, or the main verb that we are talking about, is the tense of the sentence. The sentence is referring to which tense. So if the situation here is, if the reporting verb or the main verb is in past tense, when it is in past tense, we will have to change the present tense into the past tense. It is as simple as that. So the first rule should be, find out the reporting verb. If your reporting verb is in which tense, supposingly if your reporting verb is in past tense, you will have to convert present into past. Coming to rule number 2, shall will be converted to should. Modals, shall will be converted to should, will be converted to would or should, according to the situation, according to the sentence, which is best suitable. Fourth one is, if the reporting verb is in simple past tense. Here verb is written. If it will be in simple past tense, it will be changed into past perfect. Here we saw present will be changed into past, but if the reporting verb will be in simple past tense, it will change into past perfect. Coming to rule number 2, if reporting verb is in present or future tense, here it will be if it would be in past tense. Now we are talking about either present or the future tense. No change at all. We need to keep in mind that there is an imaginary line being constructed here. This side is direct speech, this side is indirect speech. That means we are converting the direct speech sentence into the indirect speech sentence. And for that to take place, we need to have the situations in our mind that if the reporting verb is in past tense, we'll be converting present to past. If the reporting verb is in present or the future tense, there will be no change at all. Present tense में reporting verb means I like chocolate. If the sentence is I like chocolate, so like here is the reporting verb that is in present tense. Coming to third rule, pronouns and possessive adjectives in first and second person. If the pronouns and possessive adjective, pronouns means he, she, it, like for example, he, she, it are the pronouns, and possessive adjective means mine, yours, theirs. In first and second person, if in direct speech, left hand side pe we are there, the portion is in left hand side. So if in direct speech, the first and second person, the pronouns and possessive adjectives are in first and second person, simply they will get converted into third person. Yes, moving forward with the third rule, where we saw that pronouns and possessive adjectives, they will be changing into third person. Here, for example, we have I and you. They are in first and second person. It will, the singular will get converted into he, she, his, her. Again, we have we and you. They are and your, the possessive adjectives, they will be converted into they and their. Coming to the rule number 4, we have words expressing nearness. Now we are coming to the perspective of distance, that the words that express nearness, the closeness, they will simply get converted into words expressing distance. Again, an imaginary line has to be constructed here. The left hand side has to be direct speech, the right hand side has to be indirect speech. And we have to keep in mind that moving forward from left to right, this arrow needs to be in your mind, that when you're moving forward from left to right, what all rules you need to keep in mind and remember. So words expressing nearness in rule number 4, that means the closeness will be changed into a distance mode. Okay, the more the closeness, the more the distance, you can understand. It changes into words of expressing, words that are expressing distance. Supposingly we have, take example, now will be converted to then, this will be converted to that, these will be converted to those, here, there. Like for example, we have hitter, titter also. Today will be converted to that day, tomorrow, the next day, yesterday, the previous day. We can also add certain things. Tomorrow, if it is the next day, yesterday will be the previous day, ago will be before. These are certain examples that you need to keep in mind. Okay, coming to rule number 5, we have statements in indirect speech are generally introduced by the conjunction that. One thing we need to correct here is speech, the spelling of speech. It is SPEECH. Also, Statements in the indirect speech are generally introduced by the conjunction that we have also studied in the first slide. For example, he told me I cannot help you. Now, this is an example of which, let me clear all the things. Yeah, he told me I cannot help you. This is an example of direct speech because we are exactly quoting the words I cannot help you. Again, we have he told me that he could not help me. So here that is being added into the indirect speech as stated in rule number 5. So in indirect, if we have to convert from direct to indirect, we have to add the conjunction that according to rule number 5. Rule number 6 says questions when being reported follow rules given below. Introductory verb is changed to asked, inquired, demanded, etc. So here, what do we mean by introductory verb? It means the reporting verb or the tense. That is being changed to asked, inquired, demanded, etc. when we are talking about the questions or when the sentence or the statement is talking about any question. B part says, according to rule number 6, the interrogation mark, that means this mark we are talking about, the question mark, placed after the questions in the direct form. Direct speech may, if there is a question mark, it is not placed after questions in the indirect form. That means if in a direct speech we have the sign of a question mark, indirect speech will not contain. It will get omitted there. Moving forward with the rule number 7, we have when reporting a command or a request. When according to rule number 6, we learned about the questions when we are dealing with the questions. Now we are dealing with the command or request, the introductory verb. Again, I'm going to ask the same question. What do we mean by an introductory verb? The introductory verb here means the reporting verb. When they are reporting a command or a request, it changes into request, to beg, to implore. Implore also means to beg someone, to order, command, advise, etc. The imperative changes to infinitive form. Imperative means the mood of the statement, in what mood, in what situation it is, in what is it giving a command, is it giving an advice. These basically refers to imperative, and it changes into infinitive form means to, the form of to. According to rule number 9, when reporting an exclamation or a wish, exclamation means feelings, in the indirect speech, the introductory verb or the reporting verb changes to wish, bless, pray, cry, explain, etc. Coming to rule number 10, the interjection and exclamation. The interjections and exclamations are basically the strong feelings or the strong emotions like oh, well, hooray, alas, etc. These are omitted. Omitted means these are deleted from there. So these were the 10 rules that we have studied. In this session, we have studied about what a speech is, what a reported speech is, why do we use a reported speech, how do we use a reported speech, the two main types of reported speech that are direct and indirect, other 4 types of reported speech we discussed, and we discussed about direct and indirect speech, the 10 rules. All the 10 rules have been discussed here. Any doubt regarding these 10 rules and today's session we'll be taking in next class. Thank you.